This film sucks. Star Trek 2, 3, and 4 were all great classic Star Trek films. I didn't like the first one, but it wasn't terrible. But as for Star Trek 5, The Final Frontier, someone at Paramount obviously wasn't thinking straight. The film begins with Captain Kirk spending his shore leave climbing a mountain in Yosemite National Park, where he is greeted by Spock. Kirk gets distracted and falls off the mountain. Spock then flips upside down and dives after him as if he's freaking Superman, so he saves Kirk just before he hits the ground. We then cut to Nimbus 3, where the United Federation of Planets, the Romulan Empire, and the Klingon Empire have a private conference. The meeting is interrupted when the city compound is overrun by Sybok and his followers. He informs them that they are his hostages. Back on the Enterprise, it seems that Scotty and Ura are romantically involved. The writers think that they could just pull this out of their ass, dump it on screen, and expect us to buy it? Does this help or add anything to the plot? No. Is this interesting and fun to watch? No. They don't even have any character development for this. This is stupid! Meanwhile, Kirk, Spock, and Bones are now around the campfire at Yosemite, where the three discuss their time together and philosophize about life and death around a pot of whiskey-spiked baked beans. Their leave is interrupted when the Enterprise is summoned by Starfleet. Spock replays the hostage tape that Sybok sent and zooms in on his face. Kirk then says, "You look like you've just seen a ghost." And then Spock says, "Perhaps I have, Captain." Elsewhere, Claw, who's having the worst hair day ever, orders his vessel towards Nimbus 3. The Enterprise arrives first, and Sybok suddenly recognizes Spock, and we learn that they're brothers. When Spock is unable to kill Sybok, Kirk, Spock, and Bones get imprisoned. But with the help of Scotty, the three are able to escape, and we then have a scene where Scotty says, "I know the ship like the back of my hand." He then hits his head on the ceiling, and not only has this cliche been done a million times, but it's so stupid and old. I mean, it's something you'd see in Bugs Bunny or Scooby-Doo, but not Star Trek. I mean, it's retarded. What were they possibly thinking when they made this awful pile of horse shit? So they make it up to the emergency transmitter, hoping to notify Starfleet. Sybok arrives and asks for a fair chance to relieve them of their pain. He does this for Spock and Bones, but Kirk refuses. "I don't want my pain taken away. I need my pain. I like my pain. Blah, 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 blah." So the Enterprise arrives at the Galactic Core's boundary and encounter a strange-looking, never-before-seen planet, I guess. And let me just say, the special effects for this scene are really, really bad. No kidding. Anyway, Sybok and his followers believe they have found heaven, and Sybok takes a shuttle down to the planet's surface, along with Kirk, Spock, and Bones. They search around a little bit, and were then followed by some more bad effects, as it seems that God is in this movie, is pissed off and is attacking the planet. The three encounter him, and he turns out to be an asshole, as he starts shooting lightning bolts out of his eyes at Kirk and Spock, for I guess he needs their starship or something. But it's not really the god of Shakari, it's something evil, seeking to escape the Great Barrier. So Sybok sacrifices himself long enough for the Enterprise to escape. Kirk tells Scotty to beam up Spock and Bones while he is left with the entity. But he is saved by the Klingon ship. There's a big explosion, and Claw is forced to apologize to them, and the humans and Klingons are friends. And finally the film ends with Kirk, Spock, and Bones resuming their vacation in Yosemite National Park. You know, I really can't think of anything good about this film. I mean, the acting is bad, the writing is bad, the directing is bad, the special effects are terrible, and employs labored storytelling, an inconsistent tone, half-sketched characters, and an unfocused plot to arrive at a thin conclusion to a misguided premise. How did they go from classic funny and original storytelling to this piece of crap? I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. You know, how did they sink this low? I mean, maybe if the people working on this film actually had gotten their head out of their ass and put some effort into it, tried to make a good film, then we could have had another decent Star Trek film. But history is history, and as far as I'm concerned, Star Trek V, The Final Frontier, can rot in hell as it remains one of the, not only the worst Star Trek film, but one of the biggest fuck-ups in movie history. Thanks for listening, and have a good night.